Welcome back to another episode of FHS Season Tickets. I'm Nick.
And I'm Michael, and before we get into the Fairview Sports, quick shout out to my boys at Tottenham. 2-0 win over the weekend over Manchester
You like
City.
the weirdest teams.
We're second in the league.
And Vanderbilt.
We're second in the league. Just got a huge victory. We're the only unbeaten team in the Barclays Premier League so far. A fantastic game. Absolutely demolished Manchester City. They couldn't do anything offensive. Never really had a chance to score. The defense has been fantastic. Haven't conceded a goal from open play this season.
And now we're going to go into the sports that actually matter, Fairview Sports. Mike, what happened with the boys' soccer?
The boys' soccer got a victory 3-1, giving Coach Snow and Coach Kiesner their 100th win as head coach for the boys' soccer team. Nick, what happened in the football game? I've heard some good news.
The Fairview football team won 6-0 against Brooklyn. At Brooklyn, home field advantage for them.
A football game was 6-0? That sounds like the soccer score.
No.
Wait, so the soccer game was 10-3 against Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And the football game was 6-0.
Hey, both I see a W in the category, so that's really all that matters.
True.
They go into overtime 0-0. Ended up pulling out the clutch win in overtime. Fairview Sports on the come up, 1-0 in conference. What do you got to say about that, Mike? Anything?
Just 1-0 in conference. The conference title dream is alive.
Yeah.
Homecoming game this Friday against
Garrett
our former
Mack.
defensive coordinator, Garrett Mack.
Yeah.
We need a lot of fans there. Hopefully it's going to be pretty
Flood
rowdy.
the stands.
I'm sure some of the students and some of the players have some choice words to Garrett Mack when they see him again.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It'll be exciting. And also the girls' soccer team tied St. Joe's 2-2. A really solid game for them. Nick, what happened in the cross-country meet?
The cross-country meet was somewhat. The girls actually did outperform the boys this time, which hasn't really happened that much. Probably won't happen again. Like, the boys team is really good this year. The boys team is really good this year, but Ellie actually pulling out fifth and at Gilmore, which is a really good team. So boys was Connor, Momo, Jack, Peter, and Paul. All of Connor, Jack, and Momo got under 18 minutes, which was really awesome for them. Peter and Paul coming in, rounding out the fifth place. Just awesome showing for the girls. The guys still really good, obviously.
Yeah, guys had a rough race, but, they're at a point where a rough race is still 5th out of 13th place. So that just shows the power of their program. And even when they have an off race, they're still in the top 5. Now we're going to jump into college football. Another very exciting weekend. Starting off on Friday night, Washington absolutely demolished Stanford. It was just a no contest. The Huskies all over David Shaw's Stanford team. It was just fantastic to watch Washington just go off. Chris Peterson's team had a great showing. We'll talk about the coaches in probably about a week or two. We'll actually get around to
we're really going to get episode.
We're
cooking up a really good episode for you guys. We're really excited. But, Washington, really good program right now, top 10. Chris Peterson, awesome coach. We'll talk about that more, like we said. But just really surprising to me. Honestly, surprising, but I picked Stanford because I could not doubt Christian McCaffrey anymore. I've been doubting that team maybe even ever since last year. I just didn't really think Kevin Hogan was legit. Just that team
Kevin Hogan was the real deal. Their quarterback this
compared
year
for Stanford,
close.
Christian McCaffrey. That team relies on Christian McCaffrey so much. I figured UCLA would be able to shut down Christian, or at least stop Christian McCaffrey for that game, and that's what Washington did, and they did get the win. So really good for them. Stanford, the Pac-12 is in absolute chaos right now. They need Washington.
It's basically Washington to go undefeated.
They need Washington to go undefeated for sure, or maybe like Mike said, 12-1. Now we're gonna head into Tennessee, Georgia. Tennessee getting super.
Lucky.
Good play call there by Butch Jones. Is that Hail? No, I'm just joking. That Hail Mary almost never happens. Usually the athletes that we have now on the defensive side of the position, especially with cornerbacks, really don't ever let that happen. I don't know how really a Hail Mary ever works out, but it did for them. But I don't know. I know when I passed the mic over to Mike, he's about to be raging saying Butch Jones lost the game, then won it off, and then got lucky. But I don't know.
I mean, he did.
I'm thinking Butch Jones.
Lose the game.
Butch Jones did stay in a game with Georgia, who's uber talented, and
they
ended up getting the win.
Did you miss the Ole Miss Georgia game? Was that just erased from your memory?
I didn't say Ole Miss wasn't good. I didn't say Ole Miss wasn't good.
Georgia looked like
Tennessee.
Alcorn State.
Okay, Tennessee still gets a win in the books. I know Vanderbilt had that happen You would just be happy about it. You wouldn't even question it.
I mean, yeah, I'd be happy, but I wouldn't say Derek Mason is a great coach because he got.
I didn't say he was a great coach. I just said he was above average coach.
An above average coach doesn't let a freshman quarterback drive on him 80 yards in the final minute.
Okay, freshman quarterbacks in college football have been good. It's historically. Rosen last year, you weren't making fun of every college football coach that got torched by Rosen last year who was doing well. Eason was in the same standard. Top 10 talent in recruiting.
Oh my gosh. Butch Jones, so Georgia, you have the ball with 2 minutes to go, up 4. You give Georgia the ball back and get beat deep. How does that happen?
Dude, I'm just saying, but the players got to play. Butch Jones is getting the recruits, which is what I think is the most vital part of college football.
He's the Lorenzo Romar of college football.
No, I mean, he's above average coach, Mike.
You're ridiculous. And now we're jumping into the Big Ten. Michigan got a huge victory over Wisconsin at home, 14-7. Jordan Lewis with potentially the interception of the season for Michigan to really ensure the victory. Jim Harbaugh gets another victory. Now Ohio State takes on Wisconsin. If they can get past that hurdle, and we saw Michigan State losing to Indiana, Michigan and Ohio State could be undefeated heading into that game. That'll be real fun. But Nick, what happened in the big-time showdown of the week, Louisville versus Clemson?
A couple of thoughts on that game. First off, Michigan did good. I mean, I still think that wasn't the greatest showing. I think Ohio State would torch that Wisconsin team.
Well, we'll see if they can torch that Wisconsin team this Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see. But I just don't think that Michigan is as good as everyone's hyping them up to be. But we'll definitely see what happens in that big showdown between Michigan and Ohio State. Definitely, I'm predicting them both to be undefeated when going into that game. Let's see what happens. Yeah, now we're going to go into that Clemson-Louisville game. Huge showdown, biggest showdown of the week. First half, different story than the second half. First half was just Clemson all the way. Louisville scores a touchdown. I think it was the running back that scored that one for them, Louisville.
Yeah, and then Clemson
but Lamar Jackson had a couple good plays. At least the first play of the game, I felt like, was just a deciding point. Huge gain, passing play, but then it was called back for a flag. Really, after that, the first half, he couldn't get anything really going. Nope. But still was up 7-0, had hope because of that. The Clemson just came back. I feel like there was a sack every left and right. Every time I saw Lamar Jackson getting sacked, I felt bad for him, honestly. Like, I don't even know what it was.
Bad for him?
Yes, I did. Like, he's a great talent, but I don't know. Like, I don't know why they just couldn't get anything going. Second half, though, different story. Definitely just was able to get stuff going. Lamar Jackson started going off, doing Lamar Jackson things. Clemson showing why I don't think they're as good as even last year. I don't even know if they were even, like, they were obviously good last year. I just don't think that they were one of these all-time great teams, obviously. Deshaun Watson, to me, throwing 3 interceptions, not passing the eyeball test, in my opinion. I just don't think that he's as good as everyone thinks he is. Last year, really good year. I'll give it to him there, but this year, I just don't think he's like the caliber player that is going to save a franchise in the NFL. Like, he could be a superstar athlete. He has all the tools there. He has the height. He has the speed. He has the arm talent. I just don't know. I just don't think he's doing it against subpar talent up until this Louisville game. But Clemson did get the win. Good for them. I think they're going to keep getting these wins. I don't believe them in the playoff, though. Mike, what do you think?
I have some very different thoughts about this game. Clemson dominated the first half, but they looked really tired in the second half. Louisville getting 28 straight points on Clemson, storming back from down 28-10 to taking the lead 36. No, it would have been 26 straight points, 36-28. And then a big-time kickoff return from Artavis Scott changed momentum of the game. And then Clemson was able to score. They got the ball back, and they did score again. But then Louisville running out of bounds. I feel like the yard marker wasn't right on the side, so I think that the Louisville receiver thought he either had the first down or it was third down because he just casually ran out of bounds. And I think if he fights for the yardage, he gets that. And I think that Louisville wins the game if they get that first down with 30 seconds left. But he didn't. Clemson gets the victory. I'm higher on Clemson than you are. They proved to me last night that they can beat one of the best teams in the country, and I'm still sold on them. I know they've had a rough start. Do I think they're one of the 4 best teams in the country? Probably not, but I
can name 4 right now that are better than them. Alabama, OSU, Michigan, And I'm thinking Houston's even better than Clemson. I would pick Houston over Clemson.
That's bold. I can't see Houston being able to block Clemson's front seven, but
I like their.
We'll be able to see how Houston matches up with Louisville because that's a game coming on later in the year, so we can kind of see how Houston
Louisville's
plays.
got a stacked schedule, more surprising than they would have thought. Same with Clemson. They probably didn't think Louisville would be this good early on, so this was going to be that big of a game.
Clemson opened up a 10-point favorite and closed at a 2-point underdog. The swing in the line just was absolutely huge, and Clemson proved that they were the better team that night. But maybe on another night it would have been Louisville's game. It was so close, so much fun to watch.
I just don't think the O-line is there quite there for Louisville. Like, again, that all has to deal with recruitment, depth of program. Just had more years of being better for Clemson. I think if Louisville was able to hold up, maybe with the schemes. I don't know, something was happening that first half with the blocking schemes. It just felt like Clemson was just there every play in the backfield. Couldn't really get anything going. So if that would have happened, maybe it would be a different story. But Clemson did get the win. We got to congratulate them, and we'll see what happens next in the season so far.
And now we're going to give some more thoughts about the Clemson versus Louisville game. Nick, what's the first thing we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, we're actually going to be talking about the Spencer Boulware and on the tackle on Lamar Jackson. They were on him all day, and it kind of got a little bit too physical, a little bit out of hand in my opinion. Boulware had him tackled. Play was called dead, whistle, and then Boulware gets him in a chokehold and squeezes. Lamar Jackson comes off heated. Took him really long to cool down. He was really mad. And I just think this is just a way too dirty play, way out of hand. It's all right to be scrappy. It's all right to be really high emotions, but that's just uncalled for. That's just really shady. Mike, what do you think about it?
I think it's a one-game suspension
for
the Clemson player. I mean, you just can't do that. That
wasn't even a penalty.
It doesn't belong on a football field.
No.
I understand why it wasn't a penalty. If you're a ref, you're probably going to miss that.
Yeah.
But on the replay, I think that's a one-game suspension. I don't even know who Clemson plays next. It could be Boston College. It could be Troy, or it could be Florida State. I know it's not Florida State, but I'm just saying it doesn't matter who it is. I think it's a one-game suspension. It's just a dirty play. It's basically like targeting, and targeting is a one-game suspension. So I think one-game suspension, that's good for the punishment. I think that punishment would fit the crime. Peplin, what are your thoughts?
I'm with Mike, but I'm kind of thinking more towards the suspension. I think it could be 2-3 game suspension because you're not in a UFC ring. You're not in the octagon. You're not trying to choke someone out
Lamar Jackson
and hurt
is
them
not going to ever walk into the octagon.
Right.
Like, that's not where he is. He is on a football field juking out defenders.
Right. And just think about it. Lamar Jackson gets hurt. You're damaging their whole program. You're ruining their whole season. Especially if someone's exerting a lot of force on your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a big dude.
Yeah.
Like, you never know what could happen. That was not right.
Yeah,
it was just a dirty play.
Yeah, Peplin hits the nail on the head there. Dirty play by the Clemson linebacker. But we're also going to talk about the Heisman race. Neither quarterback played their best game, but they were both pretty solid. Deshaun Watson, 5 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. And also Lamar Jackson with 2 turnovers, but he also did have 3 touchdowns. What are your thoughts about the Heisman race after this game? Nick, I'll go to you first.
I haven't thought Deshaun Watson was even in the Heisman race. He's obviously going to be in it by name, but I haven't thought that he had that production. So just Lamar Jackson continues on putting out some stellar stats, also some stuff to be afraid of, but again, it was just the defense came out really prepared for him, especially in the first half. So Lamar Jackson's looking solid. I still think, of course, he's number 1 in the Heisman race. Really nothing that could happen. Deshaun Watson didn't do enough. This was his chance to put himself ahead of the Heisman race. Definitely a win over Lamar Jackson, playing pretty good, pretty solid. Would have gotten him over. Christian, what do you think?
Wait, so you're with Deshaun?
I'm thinking Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm completely with Nick. I think Deshaun, he's been in his junior year slump.
Yeah.
He's been trying to do way too much. He's holding the ball for forever. I think Lamar Jackson is just having a better year. And I just think he'll be Heisman.
Yeah.
I think Deshaun Watson might be already thinking about the NFL right now, and I think it's hurting his play.
I think he's thinking too much about the NFL. I think he's just trying to be the number 1 draft pick. I think he's just trying to I think he's trying to validate that number 1 overall pick that he's been given.
I think he's just
already.
I think he's just trying to become the greatest college football quarterback Didn't he say that? He's trying to be
the greatest quarterback, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like he's not caring. He's just trying. He just wants to do everything, and he wants to just the fame and the glory, you know.
I also think he hasn't been running the ball. Like, his rushing numbers have been way down, so he's trying to be more of a pocket passer for the NFL. That's not totally his game. He's great from inside the pocket, but he's also so dynamic outside of the pocket, and he hasn't been doing that so far through the first, 5 games of the season. But now we're going to move on into the NFL. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns, the only winless team in the NFL. You guys never cease to amaze us.
Even though we winless, I still represent the Browns.
Yeah, we'll always talk about the Cleveland Browns. A controversial fumble, to say the least, in the game. Christian, Nick, what are your thoughts about that?
I don't even know what happened. If you watch the video, you can see Duke Johnson clearly holding up the football, and the Browns player is saying, "Oh, he's got the football," while there's just a dog pile on the ground, and I don't know what that's about, but somehow the Redskins just come up with the ball.
Yeah, I just think it's the Cleveland curse, the Cleveland way. Always going to find a way to stifle, to lose. But, I mean, have people in Cleveland saying, I guess this season, ironically, winless, but it's given us more hope than we've seen in a while, just based on how we've been so close to winning these games. But these type of plays always happen with this young talent. I mean, it does represent a glimmer, more than we've seen in a while. It's also just very upsetting to see your team, your city, go winless throughout this, defeated throughout this season.
Only team in the NFL that doesn't have a win so far.
So I just think that, I mean, on the come up, the NFL is just not getting me interested since the Browns have been bad. So I just can't wait till they're better again.
If Hugh Jackson only had more talent at some position.
If they fired Hugh Jackson, if he doesn't do great next year,
if we fired Hugh Jackson after less than 2 years, I will be fuming, because this year, you could argue this year has been perfect for the Browns. Yeah. We knew we weren't going to be battling for a playoff spot, and we've been in 3 out of the 4 games. We had chances to win late, and we're still in line for the number 1 draft pick. Yeah. So this season was all about seeing who can play and who can't. We saw Terrell Pryor. Yeah, that man can play.
The way Hugh Jackson is utilizing Terrell Pryor too.
I drafted him on my fantasy team.
Yes, this dude did draft Terrell Pryor
when he was ranked 2,000. Him and Dak Prescott,
12th round. We'll talk about Dak in a little bit too.
Hey, that's my boy. These guys doubted me. I'm the prophet.
The prophet.
I hopped on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
One prediction, and he's all of a sudden the prophet. But the Browns have looked talented. We've had some pieces that have been making plays, and there's some optimism on the team. But now let's officially get into the Dak Prescott versus Tony Romo debate. When Tony Romo comes back week 8 after the bye week, potentially, is what they're looking at. Who are you guys starting?
I'm starting Dak. I'm not starting someone who just came off an injury. He's got a bit of rust to shed. I'm not wasting a time in a game for someone to just shut off their rust. Dak Prescott's been playing extremely well. He's thrown 0 picks, which is the biggest thing for a rookie quarterback, is to handle the ball. And I just think the chemistry's better with the receivers and Dak right now.
Yeah, barring any colossal just failures leading up to week 8, which I don't foresee happening, I'm definitely going with Dak. Why would you take out a rookie quarterback who's getting warmed up, who's doing amazing right now? They're winning games. That's the most important thing in the NFL, most important thing in any sport ever. You want to win games. Cowboys have a chance to do that. Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott growing together. Behind that offensive line, behind that system, really, which comes down to the end of the day, is why I thought he would succeed, why he is succeeding. Tony Romo on old legs. I don't foresee him leading them any farther than Dak Prescott can take them. I'm definitely going with Dak. Way more dynamic option, way more better option. Mike, what do you think?
I'm starting Tony Romo. Nick, what do you say was the most important thing for an NFL quarterback to do?
Winning.
Yeah, Tony Romo's 15-4 in his last 19 regular season
What's Dak
starts.
Prescott's percentage, the win percentage?
3-1, which is
What's Tony Romo's?
That's worse than Tony Romo's in the past 19 games.
Okay, well, you haven't given Dak enough time. Who'd they lose to? The Cowboys.
They lost to the Giants, and they beat the Redskins, the Bears, and the 49ers. Oh, those
hey,
three
those are NFL teams.
and
that's a rookie. You got to give him time to warm up. What was Romo's when he first started the games? You don't know.
You're trying to win now. Tony Romo has been a proven winner. He's beaten great teams in the regular season. 15-4 in his past couple starts.
He has. All I hear is the past.
If Dak Prescott gets one win in his next two games, they play like the Bengals and like either the Packers or the Seahawks. They play two really good teams. If he gets one win, then maybe I start Dak Prescott. But if they go 0-2, like I do think the Cowboys will in that tough schedule, I can't justify starting Dak Prescott over Tony Romo. He's one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks of all time, top 5 passer rating and top 20 in touchdowns to interception ratio. Tony Romo might be the least appreciated quarterback in history.
Tony Romo? No.
Has Tony Romo ever had a great defense?
It's all about that Super Bowl.
Has he ever had a great defense?
Quarterback's the most important position.
So Dak's winning the Super Bowl anytime soon.
He could later. You gotta have him. You gotta have him progress. You gotta send him out there, Mike.
I would sit Romo for this season because it's like I don't trust.
He's not gonna.
Right now.
He's injured, dude. Like you can't come off an injury mid-season and do well. They just want, especially Tony Romo's that old legs. No way.
15-4 last 19 starts. And that will wrap it up for this episode of FHS Season Tickets.
See you later, guys.
You guys want to say anything before you leave?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so that will wrap it up for this episode. Make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you enjoyed the video.